Hello everyone, and welcome to this video in which I will be discussing how to use Sublime a little bit more in depth. So in this video, I have Sublime downloaded here. I'm going to open a folder, and in my documents folder, I have a school folder, and I'll just click on 160. Now in here, let's say I was taking this class and I'd want to put everything in here, different notes or maybe resources that I found. I also might want a folder called programs. And then in here, I'd open up this folder in Sublime. Now you can see I have my CIT 160 folder programs open right here. And now everything that I save in here, I can save them all in here and access them easily over in the sidebar. Okay, so what we're going to do in chapter 4, JavaScript Basics, in the programming assignments down at the bottom, there is a Number 3, create and validate a well-formed HTML5 document that you can use as a template for future assignments. Now, this is a really cool thing, and I encourage you all to do it, and we're going to do one right now. Okay, so it says at a minimum, your template must contain all the tags that are required in an HTML5 document as explained in the required tags section of chapter 3. In addition, your template must contain an opening script tag, a closing script tag, at least one input tag, an opening button tag, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so all this stuff. So what I'm going to do is, let's see here. I saved those. Oh, I deleted it. Okay, so let's go back to chapter 3 and let's find that. All right, so chapter 3, if I search for required tags or required elements, there we go. So I'll start with this for my template and I'll throw it in here. And with that, anytime I have things nested inside of other things, I want to tab them over. So I will do that now. Okay, so I have my initial template right here, and I'm going to save this inside of the folder that I just made. And I'll just call it template.html. Okay, you can see it showing up right there. Now, in here, let's see what else we needed to add. We needed all the required tags, which we got. In addition, it must contain an opening script tag and a closing script tag. So that will go up in here. Okay, just like that. And then it will need at least one input tag. Just like that, but we might want to do something like this. Okay, I'll go ahead and save that. Closing input, opening button tag, closing button tag. This is a button. Okay, so we have that. And then an opening div tag and a closing div tag. Just like that. Okay. And for this, I'll go ahead and throw an ID on there as well. It says output div. Okay, now the reason why I put in these IDs and onClick and stuff is because as part of my template, I also want to put a function in here. Now, you don't have to do this, but we will be doing this in almost every assignment. Okay, so that's what this onClick attribute in the button tag is for, is to be able to call a JavaScript function. So I will just say temp function and reference it like that. And then here I'll say function, temp function, like that. Okay, and then in here, I could say user, I'll just say input equals document.getElement by ID. Then I'll have user input for that ID dot value. Okay, and so that will take this user input and put it into here, into this variable name. It doesn't have to be input. It could be like, if I was getting like a temperature or something, it could be temp. Or sure, it could be anything. Okay, and then I'm also going to have a document.getElement by ID, have an output div, .inner HTML equals message, and we'll have a message equals temp, and anytime we want to display something to the user, we'll display it here in our output div. Okay. Another thing that we should have maybe is a defining table. So I will just start this comment right here and say input processing output. Okay. So a couple cool things that you can do with Sublime. All right. So right here, let's say I wanted to type something right here. This is a user's input, and this is an output. This is the processing. Okay. If I wanted to do something kind of cool just to make this look a little bit cleaner, I could hit space right there and then hold Control and click again. And that will add another cursor, and I can just kind of space those over. Okay, so that makes that look a little bit more clean. Let's say I wanted to change this user input ID. Okay, I could just hit Control D and change it in both spots. If we did end up getting a temperature, I could say, Celsius temperature or something like that, but I could change it in both spots just by selecting one and hitting Control D and using that. Okay, same thing if I wanted to change this output div, really easy. Okay, if I wanted to copy a line, let's say I needed two inputs, I could just hit Control C, not having anything selected, and hit Control V, and it will copy that line over. And I can just keep on doing that. Okay, and then I can do that again here too, if I did end up with a couple of them. Okay, so right here I can also click here and hit and hold Control and double click here and say next input, and then I can just hit the down arrow, hold Control Shift over, and get that next one, last input, and kind of change all of them like that. Okay, and then over here, of course, I would just say input 2 or 3 or whatever I wanted those to be. Okay. So those are a couple of simple things that you can do with Sublime that'll really help you out. You can do those things in Visual Studio Code as well, just so you know, but I do like the simplicity of Sublime. So, but anyways, I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know if you have any questions.